Good morning, everyone. Welcome to SOS K9 Unleashed, and today's one we're talking about puppy classes. Are they any good? Right. So, let's have a little talk about this. So, 99% of puppy classes are done in a hall, and they are quite generic that they stick to a program. Right. For years, I've been on them, seen them. They're all the same, even around here. They're all the same because even my clients, they've gone to one or two and then come to mine, and mine's completely different. What they do is try and play to the human, which is instant gratification. So they will teach place, middle, spin, all this sort of stuff, which is good, and in a way it is fulfillment for the dog. But the dog's already at an age where everything's fulfillment, everything's overstimulation. So it's kind of redundant. What we do on our puppy class, and it's the same as everyone else's in the sense that it's 6 weeks, they're all about 6 weeks. Ours is 80 quid, they're all about 70 to £100. But ours, we focus on the mentality and ownership mentality. Okay, we like to mould the owner so that way they know how to deal with everything and have the right mentality. And we also like to mould the dog. You know, we don't really do trick stuff as such. We focus on calmness. We focus on true socialization. We focus on habitation. So we do all that sort of stuff on our puppy class. So what I don't like is, like, mine is real world, right? And it's been criticised before by a local competition because they say dogs ain't ready for it. But the thing that makes you laugh is the reason why most puppy classes are letting their dogs down is because it's done in a hall, right? They will say it's for controlled environment. They will say it's for proofing. The problem is at that age, the dogs are too young for proofing. We're literally moulding and it's repetition at the minute, which leads to proofing, you know what I mean? It's at that age though, like 8 weeks, 10 weeks, couple of months, it's you don't proof too hard, if you know what I mean. It's making sure they get it, making sure they're adaptable, sociable, well-balanced dogs, you know. That's what you're supposed to focus on, in my opinion. The thing about the hall as well is you'll find a lot of people, they cram like 5 to 7 dogs in there. They have like one person, maybe two. We do no more than 4, and there's always 2 of us. And even if there was one of us, because one of my ladies might be ill or saying, I can handle 4, that's fine. Any more than that's a bit of a handful. Plus, having it by 4, it means no one gets slipped through the net, you know. Everyone feels like they have a mini one-to-one experience, which is what you want, you know. It's like our course as well. If your dogs have nailed certain things already and they don't need tweaking, we will sort of throw away the handbook as such and customise some other things for you and focus on some other things for you, which I believe is better. But the thing about a hall that bugs the hell out of me, and we don't use a hall because a lot of people ask me, why don't you use a hall for puppy class? It's not normal, right? The thing is, with a hall, there's no switch off. So I've done my puppy classes in the real world, out in fields and stuff like that. And when the dogs, rather than just staring at each other and barking and getting frustrated, overwhelmed, over playful, overstimulated, overexcited, all these feelings and that, what happens is they can sniff the grass and they can knock off, you know, and we can reinforce that behaviour. You know, you see a dog, you go and sniff. That's what you want. What's the point doing 6 weeks in a hall and never focusing on that? Because when the owner gets out in the real world, all that stuff you've done in a hall doesn't work. I call it classroom syndrome. It's where you go there and your dog's fucking good as gold in the classroom. You get it out of the classroom, they don't do it. And trainers blame the owners. And don't get me wrong, some of the times it is, yeah. Some of the times the owners, as soon as they have the classroom syndrome as well, when they get in there, it's like, oh, best behaviour, do as we're told. Because the teacher's there, you know what I mean? Whereas it shouldn't be like that. That's why we do real world ones, because then I can see what you're going to do in the real world. I can teach you how to handle it in the real world, and we can start future proofing your dog, which is what I love to do, because I can see things happening before they're going to happen. I can see people that model coddle their dog, love them at the wrong times and stuff like that, you know. Love is not structure, you know. That's natural, and it's a reward if you do it right as well. But that's my biggest thing about halls. That's why I don't use a hall, because the puppies then can't knock off. And the only way people try and do it is distract them with food. And because there's such an impressionable, young, immature age, there is a fine line between, oh, if I bark at a dog, you give me food. So if I want food, I bark, you give me food. You know what I mean? It then becomes like that because they're too immature to get the task at hand, because you have to break it down in such baby steps. That's why our way of training is play, is leadership, followership, you know what I mean, having them follow us about and stuff, just building that trust. Because if you can build that trust right in the first 3 years of a dog's life, the adolescent years, you've got 10 years to do the trick stuff. You can teach middle, you can teach plays, you can teach spin yourself. There's so many good trainers that have so many good tutorial videos online. You can do it yourself in a day or two, you know what I mean, use your food and all that, blah blah blah. But what's the point doing it at a young age? It's nothing. It don't mean anything. Like the amount of dogs that come to me and their owner puts them in middle, and then their dog's right by the right by their area and that, barking and air snapping and that, because it's losing his shit because it can't walk past another bloody dog, its own species, without being calm. But it can do middle. Gives a shit, you know what I mean? Like, my dogs can't do that, but they've just hit, like Callie's just hit 3. So I can walk down the high street, I can walk on the beach, videos online, that, and she's off leash, don't bother no one, don't go up to no one, no dogs, no nothing, don't go out on the road. It's brilliant. Always checks in with me. It's that's what you want. Now that she's 3, I've got a decade now of knowing that the mentality is there, the bliss is there, so now I can do all the trick bollocks I want, and it's going to take weeks, days, you know what I mean, to teach that stuff. It's easy. It's teaching calmness. Like I tell my puppy classes, yeah, dogs come with 2 switches, on and turbo. Yeah, they don't have an off. We have to teach that. Best thing about some of these hall puppy classes is socialisation with dogs. But even then, there's a fine line, because what a lot of people do, yeah, is they let dogs play, and that's not socialisation, that's play. Yeah, when you're socialising with your neighbour or your work colleague, you're not jumping all over them, are you? You're being around them. You know what I mean? Communicating, stuff like that. Dogs have many forms of communication, not just play. You know what I mean? Play is one of the ones that if you do too early can lead to wrong behaviour, and we reinforce it and condition it, unfortunately, unintentionally, you know what I mean? But puppy classes, man, make sure you don't go to generic ones. Make sure the person that is teaching your dog is going to go through all equipment, not just their favourite equipment. Make sure they go through it all, because you might need some of it one day, and you shouldn't be brainwashed into thinking that that tool is unethical. That's just people being emotional, you know what I mean? Dogs don't have that side of them. They run on instinct. Yeah, I mean, fight, flight, all that sort of stuff. They're instinct animals. So, yeah, my opinion, make sure you always get someone that knows what you want out of your dog. They should be focusing on calmness. They should be focusing on followership. They should be focusing on leadership. They should be focusing on exposure. And exposure covers everything from sound, sights, textures, everything. And then you want to add your obedience in it. Your basic obedience. I'm not talking, let's see if we can do 30 tricks in 6 weeks. No. I'm talking about just doing 3 or 4 and fucking cementing them so they are bulletproof, yeah? And that will work every freaking time. That's all I did. Like I tell people, you got 5 ways, man, that you can control a dog, right? It's you got to have perfect recall. You have your sit, your down, your wait, because that's your self-control. Then you got to have your leave, or you leave it, because that can save their life. With them 5, you can control a dog. If you have them proved and perfected enough, you can have them 5 will control a dog in all environments, relax a dog in all environments, and you'll look like a king with your dog, you know what I mean? Everything else is just for fun. Place is really good. I don't knock that. It's just most people use place and don't utilise it correctly. They don't introduce calmness. It's just place, here's food, place, here's food, place, here's food. So the dog just sits there like that, waiting for food, always energetic. So all you do is just pick up the problem and move it onto a mat. If you're going to, place is one of many tools to teach calmness, because there's no one command to teach calmness. There's loads of like little backdoor things we have to do. And a good puppy trainer will teach you that. So yeah, it's all about building that foundation at the end of the day. And it's all about making sure your trainer is open to everything, because knowledge is king. If they don't use something, it's through lack of knowledge. If they won't talk about it other than negatively, It's lack of knowledge. I train people on harnesses all the time. I haven't got a problem with them as long as you use them correctly. But if your dog's at a certain level where you find it, you find you're out of control with your dog, or your dog's out of control with you, you shouldn't be afraid to use a Halti, a slip lead, figure of 8, half check, full check. You shouldn't be afraid to use any of them. You just want to know how to use them correctly, because that's the big thing that a lot of people get wrong. It's like, argument's sake, with a slip lead, a lot of people would put like 70% pressure on that, but then if you was to switch to like a prong or something, if you hit 70% again, that's not fair. You're supposed to drop it down to like 5 or 10 or something like that. Same with like the harness. When people go from a harness to a slip lead, they're so used to dragging their dog back with like 150% pressure type thing, yanking their dog back on the harness. So when they do that on the slip, they feel guilty because they're choking the dog, and it's like, yeah, you shouldn't be using that much pressure on that. You know what I mean? It's like getting in different cars. You wouldn't just put your foot down on the accelerator and the gas and think it's the same as the car before. You know what I mean? But puppy classes, man, they are rambled off there, but puppy classes, they are failing a lot of dogs, unfortunately, because I'm seeing a lot of dogs that have completed 1 or 2 puppy classes and they're still not knowing the basics about lead pressure, not knowing the basics about psychology of a dog. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's don't pick someone who's going to do trick training, because you yourself can do that. There are brilliant trainers online that will help you do that with tutorial videos and stuff. So don't waste your time with the trainers that are in it for the instant gratification, because that is very short-lived, unfortunately. What we do sticks for a lifetime because we future-proof, and more importantly, we change the owner's mindset. By doing that, the dog stands a better chance of making better decisions, because the owner's in the right mindset to put them in the right situations to be instant winners and that. So, and in that young stage, that is so important. It's like treats with pups. That is really good, but if your trainer's only treats and tells you to be a human treat dispenser, they're a moron, because treat is a stimulant. You give a dog a treat, they get amplified. You know what I mean? So you don't want to do that. Not only that, yeah, the treat is powerful. It's so powerful that people depend on it so much that the dog then reprograms the owner that it won't do anything unless you have a treat in your hand. That's the dog training you, the owner. This is why treat should be the cherry on the cake, in my opinion. Use your verbal, your physical, and then you give them a little science hand. You know what I mean? That's my 2 cents for puppy classes, because we've just started ours, and I've had conversations with people lately about puppy classes that they've been to that they weren't happy with, and basically I told them what I've just said there, and it made sense to them. It's just all generic, unfortunately. You need someone that does real well and gets results. That's the most important thing. Because they're the things that the owners can't sort out themselves. That's why they need the help. Like I said, all the rest of the stuff you can do yourself at home. Go on YouTube, you know what I mean? What you can't do on YouTube is sort out a reactive dog, an aggressive dog. That's where, if you learn in puppy class all the right stuff, you'll never have that. You'll never ever have that. So, and don't forget, if you ever need help, just drop us a message or something. We'd be more than happy to help. Don't forget to check out our Facebook, our Instagram, and our other YouTube channel, which has all our training videos on there. This channel is only for me talking and interviews. So, happy days. Remember, be calm, cool and confident, and I'll catch up with you guys later.